Hi YouTube, it's Kathy. Welcome back to Ask an Introvert, a weekly internet series where you ask questions of me, an introvert, and I answer them. Last week I left you on a little bit of a cliffhanger, letting you know that last week's question had a part 2, and here it is. I'm going to read it out because it's a little long. Sometimes some of my introverted friends are fine with going out, but then they suddenly feel uncomfortable or retreat. What are some of the things that can trigger them to duck and hide when before they were talking normally with everyone? And how can I make them feel comfortable again? So yeah, sometimes introverted friends are fine with going out. We go out into public like everybody else. Sometimes we want to, sometimes we don't. There's a possibility that once you've noticed that they feel uncomfortable and they're retreating, maybe they felt uncomfortable the whole time, or, as you mentioned, there could have been a trigger that made them feel uncomfortable. I can't speak for everyone, but some of my triggers include if things suddenly get too loud that I can't hear another person, or if the crowd gets too big that I can't focus on one conversation. I always find myself in the middle of two different conversations and I kind of ping pong back and forth and try to figure out which one that I should be in, which one I'll actually have some talking points in, and instead of just listening to people and having a good time and picking A or B, I just spend all of my time going, I'm not adding anything to this party, why am I here, this is so draining. I think sensory overload is a really common trigger for introverts because it does kind of deplete how much energy we have in a given situation. There's also just the possibility that they want to duck and hide because of something that has nothing to do with their introversion, such as the conversation changed to something that made them feel really uncomfortable. Now, sometimes uncomfortable conversations are good because you can learn from it and figure out your own biases. Sometimes the conversations are overtaken by such a strong personality that you know that even if you let them know what they were saying was inflammatory or upsetting to you, it wouldn't really be heard. And especially if it's a party situation and people are supposed to be having a good time and somebody is doing very small things that really bother you, it's hard to be that nitpicky person that lets them know about it, especially if it is conceivably such a really small thing. I mean, if it's a huge thing that they're doing, definitely I will let them know that what they're doing is not appropriate. One of the things I wanted to really make sure to cover was the section where you said when before they were talking normally with everyone. What is talking normally? No, honestly, let me know. Is there one normal way to talk? This is the point where the extrovert ideal comes in. So in a nightmare scenario in my head of being an introvert, a party is one of those parties that you see in like American teen movies where for some reason they always have access to a really big house and a kegger and there's like hundreds of people in the one house all chatting and having a good time and somehow able to talk to each other. That sort of talking normally with everyone is what people kind of consider as the thing that should be done and the way to have conversations at parties. There's a possibility that your friends that you've noticed retreat from parties have done what I've done and been between conversations, been unable to have any input in the conversation and just given up. But I am glad you asked how you can make them feel comfortable again. Something that I always find is that if I can go outside and just breathe for a little bit, I will be fine to come back in and kind of figure out what I can do and who I can talk to. Also, if you notice one of your friends is struggling, maybe just start a conversation with them. From that conversation, other people might attach onto it, but if we've started a conversation together and other people join into it, that's much less intimidating than just going in and trying to butt in on a conversation and feel like you have a place there. What about you? Do you have any tips or tricks that make you feel more comfortable at parties? Let me know about them down in the comment below. If you would like to ask an introvert, that would be wonderful. You can ask your question down in the comments below, send me an email or send me a tweet. On the way down to the comment section, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. Like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you next Monday. Bye!